This is Dr. David D. Shine for a Saving America special covering a couple elections and a couple bond issues that we think of a special concern here in the United States of America and specifically in the great state of Texas. First on the list, and certainly of concern on a national level, not just state level, is the Texas U.S. Senate race between Colin Allred and Ted Cruz. This could turn out to be the most expensive Senate race in history. Normally in a red state like Texas, Republican Ted Cruz would be considered a walkaway, and there would be a token candidate holding the Democrat slot. In this case, desperate Democrats want to make an issue of hardcore conservative, and frankly, they're willing to buy the seat just to make a point. The Dems are likely to lose the Senate either way based on current polls, but a win here would help them lick their wounds. I do not like Ted Cruz as a person, just as I do not like Donald Trump as a person. However, I vote for both candidates because I feel that they are the best for the country. In this case, both Cruz and Trump are far better for the United States than their opponents. Allred has tried to make immigration an issue since his backers know that this is the #1 issue in Texas. His only point is that Cruz opposed the Senate bill that claimed to be an immigration reform bill. It failed, and in fact, the GOP-led House told the Senate that it would be dead on arrival in the House in any event. This was a terrible bill that would have basically have cemented the failed Biden-Harris policies that last 3.5, frankly, nearly 4 years now. This is not a reform. It would simply make open borders American policy. Cruz rightfully has opposed it. Allred now claims to be tough on the border. His problem is that the Trump campaign and the Cruz campaign have found actual video of Allred proclaiming that the border wall is racist, and if elected, he will tear it down. That's a big win here for Cruz. Sadly, the other major issue on Allred's end is abortion. His mega problem here is that abortion is a state-by-state issue. This is a federal election. Cruz does not decide what the abortion policy is in Texas. This is totally, totally false advertising. I agree that the Texas abortion law is being interpreted too strictly. However, if that is Allred's position, then he needs to run against Governor Abbott in the next state election. It is not in play in this election. It is not in play in this election, and they need to be honest about that. Allred is running ads trying to appear to be a big family man. However, the Cruz campaign has nailed him for opposing rules prohibiting biological males from playing in women's sports. In a brand new ad, vets have nailed Allred for supporting the military, for paying transgender surgery for members of the military and even their dependents. I certainly do not think this is a good use of American military's limited funds, and I believe that this is a very significant issue to those people out there, many in Texas who are vets. Inflation and the economy are major issues for voters. In this vacuous campaign, despite millions upon millions of dollars being spent, the campaigns have ignored this. I assume Cruz assumes he's on top here, and Allred cannot stretch his lies enough to try and make a campaign issue out of it. Texas loves playing football. Allred notes in a commercial to have played football for Baylor. Interestingly, he omits playing for the Tennessee Titans pro team. I guess since it appears he was a bench warmer there and he did not want to focus on that. Either way, nice idea to try, but irrelevant to whether he knows anything about good politics in Texas. Also, the Titans were formerly known as the Houston Oilers, and he may not want to remind longtime Houston fans that the Oilers snuck out of town to Tennessee in the middle of the night under former owner Bud Adams. Yeah. His real background is far left. He went to law school at UC Berkeley, widely regarded as one of the most liberal schools in the country. Then he worked in the Obama administration. He never mentions this in his commercials, of course. If Cruz was a more attractive candidate, this would be a total wipeout. However, given the advertising blitz, I am still projecting Cruz with a win by 5%. Texas U.S. House District 18. This is an open seat due to the death of Sheila Jackson Lee. She did an awful job for over 25 years. I know this since this is my personal campaign district. In the race is Lana Cantizoni for GOP versus Sylvester Turner for the Dems. Of course, Sylvester Turner is the failed former mayor of Houston. Unfortunately, this district has been gerrymandered to be heavily Democrat. All I need to say about Turner is that he has run an invisible race and apparently hopes that voters will forget the miserable job that he did as mayor for 6 years. In turn, Lana Cantizoni is running for office for the first time. She's a mom and a deeply religious woman. She immigrated legally to the United States. She earned a master's degree at TWU, Texas Women's University, with honors. Her professional journey is as a federal officer for a span of 12 years. Regarding her campaign focus, it is securing our borders, upgrading infrastructure, and return to a thriving economy. She also supports term limits. Hey, what's not to like about a fresh voice in a district that has struggled for so long? Turner certainly is not going to move anything forward. He proved that during his time as mayor. This could be a sleeper race if people will wake up and give Lana Cantizoni a chance. Harris County Flood Control District, Proposition A. Well, at least they're being honest about raising taxes. In the past, most ballot measures like this passed. More recently, voters already burdened by high real estate taxes are not feeling so generous. Concern about flooding is a very real issue in southeastern Texas, and we just watched major flooding over Florida. It is my position that government at all levels have wasted our tax dollars and are not properly investing it in infrastructure. I am calling on voters to push Harris County to economize and get this done within their current budget. They can become a model for the rest of this badly run country. Therefore, vote no on this proposal. Houston Independent School District, Propositions A and B. That's right, HISD is seeking not one, but two huge bond issues. They total just shy of $1 billion. I am sure it would exceed that amount when interest and other fees are added. In Prop A, they want to expand and add buildings. In Prop B, they're asking for technology and systems equipment. Note that the school district tax is the largest component of the huge combined Texas real estate taxes. Again, most residents have their kids in public schools and want their kids to have good buildings and good equipment. My kids went to HISD and I want that for the community. However, I question, when does it stop? When will the system consolidate buildings and focus on wasting less money across the board? HISD, show me that you have done right with my hard-earned tax dollars, and then we can discuss giving you more money. Most Americans are struggling to pay bills due to high inflation and high taxes. I do not feel the mood is to give any government agency more money. We are told the birth rate is way down. The cost of living close into the city, which is much of HISD, is very high. The current pattern is that really young adults and some of the older families live in the city. Otherwise, the young families live out in the suburban school districts. Certainly, HISD can do a lot better with its current budget. And I also criticize them for not including in the bond issue what would be the impact on the taxes that people are paying. Therefore, I vote against both HISD bond issues. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Saving America. Please subscribe on your favorite platform.